Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ohio State at the Voice of College Football. I am your host, Garrison Gaddy. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family, whether they be Buckeyes or not. We have a lot of channels here at the network for other fan bases, so please get the word out there to them. Now let's get to it. After the big news yesterday of Bowen from Virginia Tech becoming the new offensive line coach at Ohio State and Brian Hartline getting an awesome promotion from wide receivers coach to the play caller at offensive coordinator, today we have Ryan Day getting signed to a 7-year extension of $12.5 million. That makes him the second highest paid coach in college football behind Kirby Smart, who's just over the $13 million barrier, and rightfully so, with 2 championships that went back to back. Now, let's talk about what led to this. You look back when Ryan Day came in 2019, he's a first-time head coach all the time. You handed the keys to Ohio State, one of the premier jobs in college football, if not the premier job in college football. Your first year, you have a lot of success. You probably have your best team till this past season that you've had, and with Justin Fields, Chase Young, the rest of the team, the guys on there that were very good and got cheated against Clemson. And then you go the next year, you go to the playoffs again, but you lose in the national championship to Alabama in an embarrassing fashion. Then after that, we see consistent years where you're losing to Michigan. You're still not winning playoff games. You lose to Georgia. Now, though people did not believe that you were going to win going into that game, it was clear as day that you were the better team that day, and you had a double-digit lead and you lost it. You call a lot of flack for that. Then you come into this season. You have Urban Meyer, you have Jim Tressel saying this is one of the best Ohio State teams, if not the best Ohio State team they have ever seen come through the Woody. You bring in a bunch of guys like Caleb Downs. You bring in Will Howard. You bring in Quinshon Judkins. And then you recruit the number 1 player in the country out of high school, Jeremiah Smith. You bring all these things together. And then you lose to Oregon by 1 hour. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's okay, but people are kind of looking at you still a little iffy. And then you get to the Michigan game. You face one of the worst teams since 2020 and probably of all time, one of the worst teams of all time. And then the world is coming down on you. People are asking if you're really the guy. People are asking if you could ever lead this team to another win against Michigan, a Big Ten championship, let alone a national championship. And then the Tennessee game comes. And you go in there and you dog walk them. You go against Oregon in the Rose Bowl. And people are asking, well, can Ohio State win this game? A lot of people were just picking Oregon off the strength that they beat you the first time. And then you dog walk them. Actually, you double down and you do them worse than you did Tennessee. You played Texas and Dallas. You beat them in a very competitive game, and where you see Jack Sawyer have probably, if not one of the biggest plays in Ohio State history. And then you face Notre Dame in the national championship, and you bring another one to Columbus, Ohio. After that, it is very clear that Ryan Day was the guy. And then leads to this. What does it look like for Ross Bjork as the new athletic director at Ohio State? Now, even though I did not believe that, depending on whatever happened in the playoffs, I did not believe that Ryan Day was going to be let go at the end of the season. It just wouldn't be smart. You're talking about shelling out $60 million to him. Mind you, then you got to go find another head coach, and we're not just getting Joe Blow at Ohio State, so you're probably talking at a bare minimum $40 million. That's $100 million you got to shell out right there. You're talking about staff you got to get. Then you're talking about players who might leave. There's a lot of things that could happen if you fire Ryan Day. I just didn't believe it was logical at that time. But I did believe that if Ryan Day had another year where, you have double-digit wins, but maybe you missed out on the Big Ten championship. Maybe you lose to Michigan again for the 5th time in a row. And who knows if you miss the playoffs. You don't win a national championship. But all these things can happen to Ryan Day the next season. I believe that Ross Bjork would have been right to do so to fire Ryan Day, but also because, hey, you're the new guy, just like a GM in the NFL or the NBA or anywhere else, and you have a star player or just like an owner when he wants a new GM, you want your guy in there. You want your hire in there, someone that you can put your name on and put behind them, and then you get the credit for it. Well, I think going forward, Ryan Day now has the backing of the players, which he already had, his staff, which I'm sure he already had, the fan base, but more importantly, Ross Bjork and the rest of the administration. And going forward from here, I think that Ryan Day he feels, I guess, like some extra strength, kind of like Thanos when he has all the jewels, the gems, and he puts it in the air and you see all the power. I feel like that's Ryan Day right now. And it's not like the institution wasn't already behind him. I mean, we remember a few years back when the footage leaked and his Ryan Day said that he needs at least $13 million to keep this roster together. Seemingly, that was a low number. Last year was about $20 million. And guess what, everybody? Every penny was spent well. Now, let's get to some of the other things that are probably going to fly away. The negativity towards Ryan Day. I think that Ryan Day has cemented himself in Ohio State lore. Now, granted, that record against the team up north, it's shaky, man. You're talking 1-4 now, 4 losses in a row. At the same time, you think about guys like Jim Harbaugh. I mean, Jim Harbaugh started 0-5 against Ohio State. That 5th loss was to our now 7-year, $12.5 million coach Ryan Day. And then he fixed it going forward and then got the national championship. As for Ryan Day, he got it early before he even made that turn. I think that bodes well for the future of Ohio State. And what does it mean going forward even more so? What does it mean for the staff? What does it mean for guys like Brian Hartline? Do you believe that Ryan Day will actually fulfill all 7 years up until 2031? Now, I am someone who believes that usually coaches won't do it. I think that Ryan Day could get a call from the NFL here soon within the next 2 to 3, 4 years. I think that's very likely, as he did spend some time in the NFL with Chip Kelly over there with the Eagles and with the 49ers. But overall, man, I'm happy. I think everyone else should be happy. We now have the guy for the future, and the future is looking bright. Again, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you see this video today, be sure to come through later tonight for the Ohio State primetime call-in show with myself and my co-host Ryan Stanos. Should be a good time. Bring whatever topics you want to bring. That is your show, and we're glad to share it with you. As always, OHIO.